get into some other time. But the bottom line is no rain in the forecast over the next few days. A little morning fog around this morning. And for the most part, it'll stay cloudy today, 76. Clouds early tonight, then becoming partly cloudy, 59. Partial clouds with sunshine Wednesday, 81. Thursday, mostly sunny and warmer in the middle 80s. Then Friday, mostly sunny with highs into the warm upper 80s. And the weekend looks dry and mild with highs in the middle 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on WCLU, your home for local.
Thank you, Ray. The constant coverage and studio radar screen pretty quiet out there this morning. We're not seeing much of the hurricane's influence in the southeast portion of our radar screen at all. Let's look at the current conditions. Ray talked about a little bit of fog. We're showing a 1 mile visibility at the Glasgow airport this morning. Normally it's about 10 miles on a clear day, so you can see quite a bit of impairment out there with the fog this morning. As we look at the other current conditions, barometers at 3010. We had no rain in the past 24 hours. No wind this morning. It's, as Ray was saying, it's just kind of quiet out there. 55 degrees, a pleasant start to the day. Let's get round one of local news coming at you this morning. Let's go to the newsroom live with News Director Wes Royce. Good morning, Wes.
Good morning, Dad. For WCLU Local News, I'm Wes Royce reporting. The Glasgow Police Department is asking for your help in locating 17-year-old Dustin Roop. He is 5 foot 2 inches and 125 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes and is possibly in company with a Taylor Elmore. Dustin has a scar on his left hand and is wearing a gold cross around his neck and was last seen on August the 22nd in the McGraw Avenue area of Glasgow. If you have any information on his location, please call the Glasgow Police Department at 270-651-6165 or 270-651-5151. The Glasgow School Board met last night, kicking off the meeting with several recognitions, the first of which was of Sarah Shepard for being named the KMEA District 3 Music Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Shepard teaches at Glasgow High School, where Principal Dr. Amy Allen says she has delivered on every facet that she has challenged her with.
I wanted really three things. One was I wanted people to feel good after they had been to the show. I wanted them to leave smiling and being happy. Number two, I wanted her to have a huge cast of lots of students. And so I knew that she would have to go beyond the students that she had in her classroom and have students. And then the third thing was I wanted her to be able to sell out the auditorium for every performance. And she hit all three of those with the first musical that she did last year.
Shepard is the husband of Mr. Matthew Shepard, who is currently the music teacher at Glasgow Middle School. Previously, Mr. Shepard was the music teacher at Highland Elementary School, and his students last year won first place in the group talent competition at the National Beta Convention. Coming in second place in that same competition was the group talent team, coming in second place from South Green Elementary. Students from both schools were recognized for their accomplishments and the prestigious accomplishments that occurred at the National Beta Convention. Those students are from Highland Elementary, Sam Allen, Alyssa Anderson, Cynthia Austin, Ellie Ball, Harrison Belcher, Stephen Garrett, Kinley Glass, Ivan Harper, Laura Howe, Ava Jackson, Zoe Johns, Gracie Kearney, Reagan Blair, Jesse Logston, Addison Norris, Ashton Page, Ann Pike, J.P. Pitcock, Dasani Sanford, Trajan Simmons, Lucy Jackson, Logan South, Caleb Taylor, Kevon Wilkerson, Brandon Sawinski, Chloe Caldwell, Emma Burton, Allie Bonner, Hudson Woody, Denia Wooten, Brianna Wyatt, Kaylee Friend, and Emma Kate Fields. The South Green Elementary students that were recognized were Grayson Bartley, Caroline Bishop, Timber Hurt, Colby Brewster, Audrey Burchett, Audrey Crane, Lauren Gatewood, Emery Gardner, Julie Houchins Granadas, Katie Hans, Bo Hoffman, Cora Grace Jones, Sydney Kuykendall, Max Lee, Gracie Lester, Jacqueline Matthias, Dia Nair, Maddie Price, Dunham Stinson, Evan Templin, Walker Thornberry, Nora Underwood, and Audra Austin. Congratulations to both Highland and South Green Elementary for your first and second place finishes in the national competition. After much debate, speculation, restrictions, and research, the Glasgow School Board has determined the outcome of the softball facility situation. Board member Dr. Barrett Lessenberry had contacted the Kentucky Department of Education to determine if leasing the fields at Gorham Park on a long-term basis would be sufficient enough to be able to pay for and build renovations through an interlocal agreement with the city of Glasgow.
So I said, historically what we've been told is that if we do not own it, we cannot upgrade it. So I explained to him, if we lease from the city, we can't make the improvements that we think are necessary. And we can't pay the city back over time to do that because it turns the city into a lending entity. I said, would it be possible for us to have a long-range agreement, a long-term agreement, and then KDE would regard that as almost ownership and would look favorably upon us and say, you can upgrade that facility. And he said, much to my surprise, yes, I think that's a very reasonable thing to ask.
Board member Mary Burchett Bauer added that there would be much uncertainty with an arrangement such as that.
And it's not just the lease. We're talking about investing substantial amount of money in property that we're leasing. I mean, it's not just we're leasing it and using it. We're talking about making major improvements and making, investing tons of money there. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Other board members, Dr. Amelia Kaiser and Dr. Allison Campbell, voiced similar concerns as Bauer. However, board member Lee Lessenberry said that he believed that it was possible to continue a long history of cooperation between the city government and the school board.
Totally agree, and I don't always agree with my brother, but totally agree that there still exists an opportunity to work somehow with the city. We've had a decades-long history of cooperation, and it's not unusual in smaller communities. It's not unusual with smaller school districts with limited funds to do this, and the duplication of services and facilities just seems rather foolhardy. And this deal, to me, coming from a building side of it, it's the imperfect confluence of events that has created an extraordinarily high price.
Ultimately, the Lessenberry votes were the minority as the board voted 3-2 in favor of building the softball facility on the Glasgow High School campus by accepting the bid from Alliance Corporation. On Monday night, the Glasgow City Council also met in regular session. 3 major items were listed on the agenda for this meeting. First was a report from Brandstedel Carroll Incorporation, an engineering and architecture consulting firm out of Lexington, addressed the City Council in regards to the Glasgow Recreation Department's master plan. The plan presented was a 10-year, high-budgeted redesign of all of Glasgow's parks, and through the use of requests and surveys from community members, a list of renovations and ideas were given. The list included improved aquatic centers, better restroom facilities, more playground and recreational sport facilities rather than organized sport complexes were some named. The council will receive more reports and binders detailing the entire plan developed by Brandstedel Carroll in the near future. Next on the agenda was the annual report from Scott Young, General Manager of the Glasgow Water Company. Young spoke about the entire state of the water company and what their responsibilities include, but the highlight of his report was when he showcased how the Glasgow Water Company is the 4th cheapest water rate in Kentucky and recently named best tasting water in Kentucky. Here's Young's comments to the City Council.
And our county rate fell in at $14.15, and again, everyone likes to compare us to Bowling Green, so I'll use the comparison of our county rate at $14.15. Bowling Green city rate is $16.15. So when you really look at the true cost of sewer, if you discharge 5 gallons worth of sewer to us, it costs you 2.9 cents. Accomplishments, we have been very fortunate that recently and within the last couple of years that we have achieved some statewide and even some national recognition. I'm not going to go into detail on all these. I'm very proud of each and every one of them. Of course, we were just named last week the best tasting water in Kentucky at the Kentucky Rural Water Annual Conference. Very excited about that. We're going to have the opportunity to compete at the national level. And, I always encourage our customers at home that, if you do have an odd or foul-tasting water, please call the office and let us know, because if you're on the end of a dead-end line and it's summertime and there's not a lot of consumption or demand on that line, we need to come out and flush that line and make sure that there's fresh water there. So there's things that we can do from a water quality standpoint to improve that. We encourage our customers to let us know that.
Make a motion that, the rate that you're showing there of the .170, is generating almost $5,700 more than what we generated this past prior year, 5694. I would like to propose that we change it to .170, which is still going to generate more income than we had, not including the revenue expected from new property. That's another estimated $2,700.
Have a motion and a second to change each of these rates. Is that what?
Or on the that would be on the real property. .170 on all of it. On both the.
But in a minor discussion, the consensus seemed that expenses and other items needed for the upcoming year justified keeping the rate the same. Here's Council Member Wendell Honeycutt's reason for keeping the rate the same.
The current rate is .174.
The what?
The current rate is .174, and the proposed rate is the same, .174. It does bring in more money, but that's because, as stewards of the city of Glasgow, through what we've done, we've encouraged something, buildings, property values to go up, and I think that as we do that, the city is entitled to use that extra money that comes in to spend for more projects that the city deems worthy of spending money on. In years that the tax base has fallen, we've always tried to stay at the same rate and absorb that loss. It's only fair that we absorb the gain as well. I believe that for the viability of the city, we should keep the current tax rate as proposed and not lower the tax rate.
The motion to amend that rate failed in a 10-2 vote. Then the original motion to approve the tax rate recommended by the Finance Committee was approved by inverse 10-2 vote. Also on Monday night, the Cave City Council met to set their 2018 tax rates for the upcoming fiscal year. The council took the compensating rate for the next year, and rates were read at 15 cents per $100 of real and personal properties assessed value and 17.8 cents per $100 of assessed value on motor vehicles and watercraft. According to the Cave City Mayor, Dwayne Hatcher, these rates will bring right at $281 more than last year for Cave City. And other items included at the Cave City Council meeting, restaurant taxes brought in $57,693.53 for the month of August, and transient room taxes brought in $34,515.53 for August, for a total of $92,209.06 transferred to fund the Tourism Commission. On Monday night, the Barron County Fiscal Court met to resolve several requests, hear a report from the Barron County Recreation Department, and adopt new tax rates for the upcoming fiscal year. One of the biggest items discussed was the report given by Charles Kearney, director of the Barron County Recreation Department, about the Babe Ruth softball tournament. Kearney was quick to answer questions about how funds for the tournament were handled and drove home the point that as many local people and businesses were utilized and benefited during this tournament. Here are some of his comments on the benefits of the tournament, and even he had some thanks to give to those who helped work the events.
really want to talk about and tell you about that what directly impacted Barron County people. 15 local vendors. Now, if you go to the back page, that's the last page I put in your packet, just the local places that we benefited by having this tournament. And I know it's a small amount, but it's a direct income to Barron County, and it's put into the economy immediately. It's a shock. To the local vendors, we spent $14,732.27. 25 Barron County citizens worked and received payment. They got jobs. $6,492.17. That's what we paid those individuals. That kept the money in the hands of people in Barron County. 18 local umpires. There's your number. 18 local umpires I used. I paid those 18 guys $2,890.75. The total local impact and to local business and citizens of Barron County, just from Jackie Brandon Park, and you're allowing me to host this tournament, $24,115.19 immediately into the economy of Barron County. On top of that, there were several adults that volunteered their time. They come out, they wanted to help. 3 people I know specifically spent over 100+ hours out there working that week, volunteering their time. If the county had paid them the contract fee, which I have to pay now, it would have been over $3,000. So I really want to thank those people that helped.
In other news, from the last night's Barron County Fiscal Court meeting, the library and extension service tax rates were both approved, and the ambulance taxing district rates were set at 2.4 cents per $100 of assessed value of real property, and the same rate on motor vehicles and watercraft, with no rate passed on personal property. This resolution was unanimously adopted. To close this special call meeting of the Fiscal Court, the tax rates for 2018 for Barron County were open for public hearing, where no one responded, and are to be adopted on a second hearing at a special call meeting later this week. More local news when we continue here on WCLU. In more local news at this hour, yesterday, just after 6:30 in the morning, a man was found dead on Stubbins Street in Bowling Green. The body of Hotez Beeson, age 34, was located inside the residence. The Bowling Green Police Department is conducting the investigation as a homicide. His body will be sent to Louisville for autopsy. Individuals with any knowledge on this incident are encouraged to contact the Bowling Green Police Department at 270-393-4000 or call Crime Stoppers at 270-781-2583. Cave City Police responded to a hit-and-run non-injury collision on Sunday on East Happy Valley Road. While Cave City Police were speaking with an operator of one vehicle, the hit-and-run vehicle returned to the scene. The operator of the hit-and-run vehicle was identified as Javier Cedrillo of Glasgow. Investigations determined that Cedrillo did not have any driver's license. Upon completion of investigation, Cedrillo was charged and arrested for no operator's moped license, leaving the scene of an accident, failure to render aid, failure to produce insurance card, and failure of non-owner to maintain required insurance first degree. The collision was investigated by Officer Judd. And on Saturday, Glasgow Police Department responded to a drug complaint on Happy Valley Road. Officer Hicks made contact with Kelly Franklin at the Happy Valley Inn and received consent to search of the room. Officer Hicks located marijuana, syringe, gabapentin, and Adderall. Kelly Franklin, age 47, of Glasgow, was arrested and charged with possession of drugs, marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of controlled substance first degree, second offense, drug unspecified, possession of controlled substance third degree, drug unspecified, prescription of controlled substance not in proper container, first offense, and the arrest was made by Officer Wesley Hicks and was assisted by Corporal Jabin McGuire. For WCLU Local News, I'm Wes Royce reporting. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, I'll be sitting down with Randy Grimes, former NFL player, and Tim Ryan from A&E's documentary, The Hope Dealer. But we're not going to talk sports and we're not going to talk TV. We're going to talk about a much bigger issue, and that is the opioid addiction. This epidemic is evident here and it's all across the country. Stay tuned and find out what they're doing to help here on WCLU, your home for local.
Even with your old leaky and inefficient windows shut. And how much better their vinyl replacement windows insulate against outside cold air. Plus, they're easy to clean and in business for 44 years. We get it right. 651-1009. Nothing can take down a home like a debilitated, leaky roof. How can you find a roofing contractor who can analyze the problems and then come up with a quote that may be less expensive than you think? Smith Siding has a great reputation in Southern Kentucky. In fact, insurance companies depend on Smith Siding as a reliable contractor. You can too. Have Shane and Randall Smith look at your situation and start the process. In business for 44 years, we get it right. Smith Siding, 109 Ensminger Drive, behind Dairy Queen.
Why do you choose the pharmacy you use? Is it because of someone you know, or is it short wait times? Highland Pharmacy has considered all of these things that make your experience at the pharmacy pleasant. With a top-notch staff of pharmacists and techs you know and trust, 2 drive-through windows, and a commitment to not making you sit and wait any longer than necessary, you can see why so many choose Highland Pharmacy, and we invite you to come see us for your next prescription. Highland Pharmacy, just over from the TJ Health Pavilion, 301 Rogers Road. Call 270-629-4300.
When was the last time you got your Ralphie on? What's getting your Ralphie on, you ask? When you're winning prizes and lighting up the score in the arcade, you're getting your Ralphie on. When you're dancing under the lights on roller skates, you've turned on your inner Ralphies. When you bring your coworkers to bowl in the business league, your office staff has clocked in on Ralphie's time. If you suffer from symptoms such as lack of fun, feeling bored, if you get frequent urges to act like it's your birthday, or if you're just not smiling enough, you need to go to Ralphie's. That's Ralphie's Fun Center in Glasgow. A great place for any party, event, field trip, or church group. Get your Ralphie on.
Have you ever heard of tour guide syndrome? It's when someone who works around either amazing art or architecture so much that they're unimpressed by it. Maybe they're at the Louvre in Paris, the Colosseum in Rome, the Parthenon in Athens. They give tours to wide-eyed tourists from all over the world, day in, day out, and the wonder and the genius no longer impresses them. Have you gotten this way with God's creation? Don't get used to God's greatness. Don't cease letting His power and majesty blow you away. Psalm 8:3, when I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you've ordained, what is man that you're mindful of him? This has been Bart Warren for the South Green Street Church of Christ.
Glasgow Prescription Center is the culmination of my husband's professional career. When he took over GPC, he didn't want to be just good. He'd already done that. He wanted to be great. And I think his patients would agree that he's done just that. Could he get by with a smaller staff? Sure. The gift shop, the flower shop, delivery people, a brand new facility, none of those things are required to have a pharmacy, but that's why it's not just a good pharmacy, it's a great one. I'm really excited to see what Robert is going to do next because I know he's going to put his heart into it.
Who will be the future face of Pettigo Lessenberry? Through expert analysis, we've confirmed their potential. With intense training, we've prepared them for any occurrence. We've taken their strengths and made them stronger. Now it's time to see what they're made of. Presenting the future face of ISU Pettigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Hello, I'm Jared Pursley. And I'm Daniel Bird.
Broken device. See Gadget Patchers today.
634 WCLU and 56 degrees this morning as we get our start. Let's turn to local sports. We have a lot of sports events that happened yesterday. It's kind of like local news, a whole lot of it. We're going to be reporting on it as we get those results and tabulate those results. But this hour, the 15th District Golf Tournament was played yesterday afternoon in Monroe County. We have results from the Lady 15th District Tournament. The Glasgow Lady Scotties won that event with a team total of 172. Abby Lee led the Lady Scotties, firing a 38. That score put her in a playoff for the championship, but she lost to Monroe County's Connor Geralds in sudden death. Other Scotty scores, Nina McMurtry shot a 44, Allie McCoy a 41, Bailey Birdsale 49, and Lena Harlow a 55. As a team, Barron County came in second with a 180. They were led by Marley Shirley with a 42, Carly Delk a 44, Lily Shipley shot a 54, Taylor Gaunce a 45, and Landry Steenbergen shot a 49. That's the 15th District Tournament played yesterday. We're working to get more of those results as they are made available here to us at WCLU. 6:35, a lot to check on in the weather forecast for today. We're watching the hurricane, but don't think it's going to affect us, but still it's interesting to watch. Ray?
We've got ourselves in a pretty quiet weather pattern over the next few days. I think in the weather world it's welcomed. And get a little chance here to concentrate more on impacts for the coastal Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic from powerful Hurricane Florence. Thursday strike to the Carolinas could be a significant one. Our influence from that storm, little if anything at all. Certainly may see some subsidence or sinking air around that center of low pressure on the west side. However, that's a little more complicated and for another day, a discussion that we may want to get into some other time. But the bottom line is no rain in the forecast over the next few days. A little morning fog around this morning. And for the most part, it'll stay cloudy today, 76. Clouds early tonight, then becoming partly cloudy, 59. Partial clouds with sunshine Wednesday, 81. Thursday, mostly sunny and warmer in the middle 80s. Then Friday, mostly sunny with highs into the warm upper 80s. And the weekend looks dry and mild with highs in the middle 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on WCLU, your home for local.
Feels nice out there this morning. 56 degrees from the studios of WCLU at 6:36. We have a little bit of fog still out there reported at the Glasgow airport. No rain in the last 24 hours, and the wind's kind of calm. Just a nice, relaxing start to the day here.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle, a combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more, because a State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Call State Farm agent Mike Bryant in Glasgow at 270-651-3608.
Well, you heard from Ralphie's Fun Center there just a minute ago, and what we want to do is recognize that Ralphie's Fun Center is the home of fun around here in Southern Kentucky. If there's a birthday, if there's a big get-together, a time to sit down and talk to people, a time to want to enjoy getting together when all you have to do is just be there. That's what Ralphie's Fun Center is all about, and they would love to talk to you about helping schedule your next event and making it fun at Ralphie's Fun Center. Let me tell you about some of the honorees we have on the Birthday Anniversary Club here today. I got to sound the gong, a 20 gong, but that's a pretty good size gong. For Cody Jackson, that's right. Happy birthday number 20 to Cody Jackson today. Now, we understand that Eaton Bossy is 1 today, and we had some proud kinfolks calling up, and apparently Eaton was born and only weighed 2 pounds and spent a whole big bunch of time in the hospital, maybe like 3 months in the hospital. But Eaton is doing okay now, and so Eaton Bossy turning 1 today is quite the accomplishment, so congratulations. Let me tell you about Abe Cross out at Fountain Run, Kentucky, who is having a birthday today. Alex Hawkins is celebrating. Trace Childers, Paige Hargett, Ava Grace Tower is 15 today. Wow. Sheila Hatcher Lindsay is 55. Johnny Dale Wood is 12. Sheila Eaton with a birthday. Julie Ann Williams. Nellie's great-grandson, Mr. Easton DeVasier. Easton is 5 today. My goodness. Marlon Witcher with a birthday. The inventor of the flip phone, Danny Gibson, is having a birthday today. Linda Lessenberry. And we have Cecily Carson Wood, all on the birthday anniversary list, but it's all birthdays today so far. Lines are open, 651-9149, 800-956-1023. Online, WCLUradio.com. When Wes just handed me another name for the list today, that would be Veronica Jackson. Happy birthday today to Veronica Jackson. It's 6:40.
Congratulations. Are you excited about the new job?
Yes, but I don't know what to do with my 401k.
That's a big decision. As a Modern Woodman financial representative, I can explain your options and help you to make the best choice. I'm Anthony Mike. Call me today at 427-6807.
Get to know your local Modern Woodman representative to plan for your financial future and learn about valuable member benefits. Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures. Securities offered through MWA Financial Services, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Modern Woodman of America.
Monday, September 17th, the Cattlemen's Livestock Market, Rockfield, Kentucky, will conduct the dispersal sale of an outstanding herd of cattle. There are 70 cows 3 years old and up, 4 bred heifers, 1 black bull, and 57 calves. Some of the larger calves may not be sold as pairs. Their regular Monday sale will follow the herd dispersal auction, and all types of cattle are welcome at this sale. That's Monday, September 17th, beginning at 1:30 at Cattlemen's Livestock Market, 210 Stamps Road, Rockfield. For more details, contact the stockyard at 270-542-2454.
Hustler Mower.
And we're more than prepared to serve you here at ISU Pettigo Lessenberry Insurance. Growing with a proud community since 1902.
Lessenberry Do-It Center is Glasgow's only locally owned hardware store, and that means a lot to me. Lessenberry's has been in business for over 100 years. I walk in the store, they know who I am, and I get the help that I need. For me, Lessenberry's is the easiest place for me to shop, simply because it's a local family-owned business, and I feel comfortable when I'm there.
WCLU, we're got a little bit behind on some of the things that we're supposed to be doing this morning, one of which is passing along area funeral announcements, but we're going to do that right now and kind of get us caught up here.
South Central Kentucky Monuments in Glasgow wants you to know that if you've recently lost a loved one or if you're thinking about a pre-need monument, they're here to make the process as stress-free as possible. With plenty of examples and a multitude of custom options, South Central Kentucky Monuments has the ability to offer you exactly what you want or help steer you in the right direction based on your preferences. Let my friends David, Jerry, and Adam Jesse provide the service and craftsmanship you deserve. To learn more, visit southcentralkymonuments.com.
In area funeral announcements this hour, Joe Wayne Gossett, age 85, of Summershade, died yesterday. At this hour, arrangements for Joe Wayne Gossett are under the direction of the McMurtry Funeral Home, and arrangements will be announced later. Dora Lois Lynn Whitlow, 65, of Dewberry, died Monday at her residence. She was a housewife and of the Baptist faith. She is survived by her husband, James Malcolm Whitlow, a son, Chester Whitlow of Edmonton, daughter-in-law, Kelly Whitlow of Tompkinsville, one son-in-law, Darrell Gore of Dewberry, two sisters, Betty Sue Jones and Virginia King, both of Tompkinsville, three brothers, William Lynn of Atlanta, Clarence Lynn of Tompkinsville, and James Ray Lynn of Edmonton, three grandchildren, Buddy Whitlow and Tessa and Jordan Gore, four step-grandchildren, Chris, Jason, and Justin Shaw, and Tracy Shaw Dodson. Six great-grandchildren also survive. Services for Dora Lois Lynn Whitlow will be Wednesday at 1 o'clock at McMurtry Funeral Home. Burial to follow in the Missionary Mound Cemetery. Visitation begins today at 1 o'clock. Kathy O. Cooper, age 63, of Smiths Grove, died Sunday at her residence. Kathy was a housewife and a former member of the Rocky Hill Volunteer Fire Department and an election poll volunteer for Rocky Hill. She is survived by her fiancé, Tony Lawless of Smiths Grove, a daughter, Michelle Brown of Wingfield, a son, Andrew Lawless of Bowling Green, five grandchildren, Shauna Bain, Tyler Brooks, Riley and Keaton Lawless, and Tyler Massey, two great-grandchildren, Nathaniel Allen Brooks and Kenley Ray Brooks. Graveside services and interment for Kathy O. Cooper will be at 3 o'clock Wednesday at the Rocky Hill Cemetery. Visitation begins at 11 o'clock on Wednesday at the Patton Funeral Home's Park City Chapel. Murray Douglas White, age 67, of Edmonton, died Sunday. Born in Canada, he was the son of the late Earl and Eileen Hall White. He was a former clerk for Donnelly's and is survived by his wife, Susie White of Edmonton. Memorial services for Murray Douglas White will be Wednesday at 11 o'clock at the Butler Funeral Home in Edmonton. Memorial donations can be made to the National Kidney Foundation of Louisville. James Jimmy Floyd, 78, of Bowling Green, died Saturday at North Crest Medical Center in Springfield, Tennessee. He was a supervisor at Holly Carburetor and a deacon at Sand Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church. His survivors include his wife, Vera Spinks Floyd, a son, Teddy Smith, three grandchildren, Christopher Levener, Rachel Loader, and Summer Russell, and five great-grandchildren. Funeral services for James Jimmy Floyd will be at 10 o'clock Wednesday at the Hardy & Son Bowling Green Chapel. Burial to follow in the Spinks Cemetery with military honors. Visitation begins today at 4 p.m. at the funeral home. Services for Blanche Jeffries Hurt, age 82, of Louisville, will be at 1 o'clock Wednesday at the Butler Funeral Home in Edmonton. Burial to follow in the Metcalfe County Memorial Gardens. Visitation begins tonight at 5 p.m. Obituary information is available 24 hours a day free online at WCLUradio.com. No login is necessary.
TJ Sampson, providing TLC, Total Local Care, 24/7. My husband and I were both admitted to TJ Sampson. They were so good to us, and we will always go back to TJ, your local health care provider. Total Local Care, 24/7.
Hi, I'm Fred Parrish here at Parrish Carpet in Glasgow, Kentucky. My parents started this business over 50 years ago, so we know flooring here at Parrish Carpet. We have a large showroom and a big selection in stock. We do custom binding and we do free estimates. We've served a lot of people in the 50-plus years, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you. So if you have a flooring need, come see us at Parrish Carpet.
Growth begins with an idea. At the People's Bank, that idea is to give you the banking service you deserve. We carry out that idea in everything we do. In fact, it's become our motto, working for you. As that idea continues to grow, let us work for you at our new location, 1300 West Main Street, opening this summer. Let us be the place where your ideas begin, where you get the banking you deserve. Come grow with us. The People's Bank, working for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Check out the deals at Gilliard Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Save big on summer adventure during our Jeep Celebration event. How about saving up to $5,800 off the factory MSRP on a new 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee? Or choose up to $4,000 off the new 2018 Jeep Renegade. Now you can save up to $3,750 off on the newly redesigned 2019 Jeep Cherokee. If car shopping makes you nervous, come to the home of legendary service.
Barron County doesn't belong.
It's time for the archives here on WCLU on what is certainly a busy day. The Tuesday after the Monday meetings can be a very busy day, but we have reconciled all of that. And the next thing is to have Sam Terry on the phone talking about a little history. Yes, we have all these news events that for the moment are current events, Sam, but they will be in the archives as history not too long from now, you think?
I think they will be.
I got some information here, and I'll share this a little later, but there's a schedule of some of the people who are going to be in the Harvest of History that they're going to actually be calling in. So you and I have jumped the gun, but we're going to try to make sure everybody knows about that. 21st and 22nd of September. Put it down on your list of things that you got to do, because I know you will.
I certainly will. Hope everyone else will also.
I got some history for you. 100 years ago, 1918. I love the way these stories are written. This is the story of Mr. Jacob Samuel Good, a prominent and leading citizen of the Nobob country, was married in the parlors of the Hotel Liberty Tuesday morning to Miss Olivia Yates, a very charming and cultured young lady of wisdom. Now, that just sounds like a nice girl. A charming and cultured young lady of wisdom? You'd want to meet her, I would think. It says that immediately after the ceremony, the newly wedded couple left for Louisville to attend the State Fair. May happiness attend them through life. Pretty neat deal. Let's get married, and then let's don't just go anywhere. Let's go to the State Fair. I like it. 1918.
Great honeymoon plan.
Yeah, that's right, and probably packed up there, too. All right, we go to 1928 this morning, where we're going to find out about Mrs. Frank Fry, who entertained at her apartment on Main Street Friday afternoon with a tea, complimenting Miss Mary Louise Short of Evansville, whose engagement to Mr. Frank Everett Fry has been announced. The parlors were decorated with garden flowers and smilax, and Ray Green, the very intelligent archivist here, writes that smilax is a widely distributed climbing shrub with hooks and tendrils. And that smilax, it says here, draped the lights and the floor lamps. It sounds gorgeous, as they say, Sam.
It sounds like it, and you know that's the Fry family, and for those who can't see the words that you and I are seeing, that's spelled F-R-E-I.
Right.
They're very interesting because Frank Fry, Everett Fry's father, was one of the numerous immigrants who came to Glasgow in the years following the Civil War. And he was born in Germany, and they lived on Leslie Avenue, where it intersects with St. Mary's Court. And many people in modern history might remember going to piano lessons at Durwood Haynes' home, which was the Fry home. And Everett became a successful pharmacist and ended up in Dallas, Texas. So
that's what we call the rest of the story. Fry. See, that's the thing, is that I fought that for a while, making sure I pronounced it right, because that E-I throws you off. But obviously they moved here after the Civil War and then contributed greatly to our community. And I think that's a great story to tell, Sam, for sure. 1938, here's what we have, and you hate to report these stories, but his friends here will regret to learn that Dr. E.R. Bryant of Tompkinsville was painfully injured last week when he was struck in the face by a wild cue ball. Oh, Lord. Yes. He was treated at the Sampson Hospital, but fortunately it was developed that no bones were broken. I don't know what kind of a trick shot that was or what pool hall it happened in, but somebody was trying to put a little spin on the cue ball to try to accomplish some sort of a shot, and instead it spun right and hit Dr. Bryant in the eye. A wild cue ball, for sure. All right, 1948, why don't we've got some newspaper advertising here from 1948, Sam. See how you feel about this opportunity. Spend an evening at the Breeze Drive-In Theater, which is 2 miles north of Glasgow on the Jackson Highway, opposite King's Steakhouse. Visit your favorite stars. Showing this week, Abilene Town with Randolph Scott, Prince of Thieves with John Hall, and Down to Earth with Rita Hayworth. Admission in cars. Adults are 45 cents. Children under 12 free. Load those cars, pack those cars, and come get into the to the Breeze Drive-In Theater and watch those movies. Not much money to spend for a lot of entertainment there, you think?
No. I would add to that, Henry. I'd never heard of the Breeze Drive-In Theater, and so I contacted the Aspley family about that and asked if the Star Drive-In ever had a different name, and it did not. And Breeze was that was the first time they'd ever heard of the Breeze Drive-In, so it seems everyone has concluded that that's a mistake in the advertisement.
Well, it certainly was an obvious mistake, or at least it was let's call it blatant if you change the name that much. But I'm thinking, too, and maybe it's just me when I read it, but, to me, King's Steakhouse, wasn't that back in the curve a little bit closer there on up the road from the Star Drive-In? So, I mean, it's hard to say. Why don't you go get a steak and then go walk across the street and watch the show? That would be quite the evening out, you think?
It would be.
At the Breeze, if it even existed. All right, let's go back to 1958 here. More wedding information here. Miss Maud Traylor, the bride-elect of Mr. James Douglas Eisenberg, was the guest of honor Tuesday evening when Miss Elizabeth Norris entertained with a dessert bridge in honor at her home on South Fork Road. I like that, a dessert bridge. We're not going to get full, but we're going to have dessert and play bridge. The home was beautifully decorated with summer flowers in shades of pink and purple. Don't you love it when they throw a little description in there? It makes you feel like you were there for sure. All right, let's go to 1968. I think we have some pictures here that Wes is going to put up for this. And Sam has provided us with a little more information about 1968. This was the day that services were held for Billy Smith, a Metcalfe County soldier who died in Vietnam. And that's Billy Smith's picture on the television and on the Facebook Live feed right there. A fine gentleman serving his country over in the less than understood Vietnam War, and services were held for him back in this day in 1968. Sam, want to add anything to that?
Billy was one of 2 Metcalfe County soldiers who lost their lives in Vietnam.
Okay.
And he has been honored and is certainly remembered to this day and deserves to be.
Yes, and I'm glad that there was an honor for that because, it was just the supreme sacrifice, as they say. And what better, the 911, we're going to be thinking about sacrifice all day long. But to think that it happened long before 2001, and we do need to honor those who were involved. 1978, this was the day that Bill McCandless celebrated his 75th birthday with his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. His cake was decorated as a tobacco field, Sam. Sounds like, be hard to decide where to cut that thing. But it was just a nice tobacco field, which I'm sure required some creativity on the cake decorators' part. News from the state park this day in 1988. Kentucky Secretary of Tourism was here to announce that a new bathhouse was going to be built for the beach at Barren River State Park. That's always been an asset, the beach down there at Barren River State Park. Of course, we have sometimes too much flooding to keep it open, but when they had it open, the bathhouse was a welcome addition to the state park, Sam. This is a little bit of a sad story here, just to think about this. This is 1998. It says the YMCA is now offering a nursery program, and Mitzi Bushway is the caregiver. And some of the participating children are young Becky Anderson, Chaz Pritchard, Hunter Bott, Sidney Austin, Val Clark, and Ethan Napier. And Miss Mitzi Bushway was very much loved by youngsters. She was involved in so many things, and she was taken away from us way too young, way too soon. But she gave in 1998 by working out there at that new youth program. And let's move to 2008. One more story here, Sam, as we wrap it up. There's some big names in this story. 10 years ago today, Bo Matthews was elected as the Barron County Alumni President. Bud Terry, President-elect. Sheila Perkins, the Secretary, and Jackie Knuckles, the Treasurer. Now, what I can tell you is we mentioned some names of people who are always there through thick and thin, people that we can appreciate who get things done, who sometimes just, well, let's say it the right way, sometimes they just are there to get it done regardless of how much time it takes. And that is the 10 years ago, that was the people in charge of the Barron County Alumni Association. And look where they are now, still giving every day. It's the archive, Sam. It's the way we keep up with things around here. And it's the way to explain. The phone rang a bunch of times when we were talking about the Breeze restaurant, Breeze Theater. So maybe we've learned something off mic about the Breeze Drive-In Theater.
That'll be interesting.
It will be. And we'll try to find out what that's all about. All right? Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us for the archives today, and thanks to our sponsor, Joseph A. Wade Industrial Hardware Services. And we're going to come back tomorrow. Who knows what avenue of thought will go down tomorrow. Sponsors, and thank you, Sam, and we'll look forward to tomorrow, okay?
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. 7 o'clock at WCLU.
To the drug dealers and violent criminals, it belongs to us law-abiding citizens. Hi, I'm Mike Richardson, working in Barron County as an assistant county attorney and as a resident with a family to protect myself. I agree with the outcries from our citizens. Repeat drug offenders and perpetrators of violent crimes need to be held accountable. I have the proven record of pursuing the tougher sentences these habitual and violent criminals deserve. On November 6th, join me fight for Barron County's future. Vote for Mike Richardson for Barron County Attorney. Ready on day one.
Paid for by. Up in here and tell you about our Good as Gold honoree today. It's by request. It is Clara Stout Day on the radio. That is Clara Stout having a birthday. Clara was nominated to be Good as Gold, and the reason for the nomination, as submitted by this listener, is she is fighting cancer. And she's a very caring person and a very loving person. So the thing is, sounds like she needs us to put some of that caring on her as she fights cancer. So if you happen to see Clara Stout around today, why don't you do so and let her know she's good as gold from WCLU and A Little Taste of Texas, where they're going to really enjoy seeing you over there today.
If you're thinking about remodeling your home, keep in mind that windows play a big part, so it's important to get the right ones. Anderson not only offers finely crafted windows and patio doors in thousands of sizes and styles, they also give you natural wood interiors, low-maintenance exteriors, and long-lasting, energy-saving performance. See the full line of Anderson windows at Glasgow Building Supply on the 31E Bypass in Glasgow. Anderson Windows. Long live the home.
I think it's about time that we should play trivia here this morning. We're going to get ready to make somebody a winner here on WCLU. 651-9149 or 800-956-1023. If you got your smarts on, you may well be able to win today from this particular question. That, well, I'm just going to ask it this way. You know, I see signs where we're encouraged to never forget those who lost their lives, who gave their sacrifice on 9/11. Never forget them. Can you tell me how many people died in the 9/11 attacks? 651-9149, 800-956-1023. How many people died in on September the 11th of 2001, the 9/11 attacks? Do you know? 651-9149 or 800-956-1023. I got all the phones tied up here, so let me get those untied. Hello, Trivia.
Was it 2,996?
That's exactly what it was. And who's this speaking?
Christy Simpson.
Christy, how you doing?
Doing well.
You're smart about a lot of things, Christy, but this is one that you've done what the signs say. You've done what any good American would do, and never forget, Christy. A terrible day indeed.
Definitely a terrible day.
Now, here's the extra hush-puppy question, okay?
Okay.
We lost 2,996 people on September the 11th of 2001. How many people were pulled from the rubble alive? In other words, you know, for the cleanup, they went searching for victims. How many people actually were pulled out of the rubble who were still alive?
I'm not sure about that.
Well, I can tell you. 12. Can you believe that? It was.
It's disheartening.
That's how terrible of a day that it was. 2,996 people lost their lives, and when they started trying to move the rubble and look for survivors or look for victims, they actually, in all that operation, were only able to pull 12 people from the rubble who were still alive. It's tragic. It still makes me sick to think about it, Christy.
Me too.
But I thought that at least we can use that to help remember today. And I thank you for helping us remember, okay, Christy?
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, it's Christy Stinson. She's a smart girl. She always gets on these tough trivia questions. Today is no different. There were, on September the 11th of 2001, a total of 2,996 people who lost their lives. And, wow, it's just hard to think about that. We'll play tomorrow. We'll have something more cheerful tomorrow when we play trivia here on WCLU, and I hope that you will join us for that, please.
CBS News Update. Hurricane Florence is getting stronger and closer.
Conditions are favorable for some additional strengthening over the next couple of days. They're expected to remain a very powerful hurricane as it approaches the U.S. East Coast.
Senior hurricane specialist Daniel Brown says Florence is a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 140 miles an hour. It could become a Category 5 by the time it reaches North Carolina sometime Thursday. Velma McCoy in Pender County, North Carolina, is still picking up the pieces from Hurricane Matthew 2 years ago.
To think that there's one out there now that we don't even know what could happen to us is frightening. It really is.
Archie Haskins lives in Portsmouth, Virginia.
I want everyone to remain safe, sound and secure, and hope no harm or danger come to anyone.
Hurricane Florence is centered about 1,000 miles southeast of Cape Fear right now. Many airlines are letting passengers rebook flights to the southeast free of charge. CBS News Update. I'm Deborah.
The Royce Radio Family. WCLU, 1490 Glasgow. WCLU FM, 102.3 Munfordville, Glasgow. And W276DO, 103.1 Glasgow.
Mike Richardson for Barron County Attorney.
Why the name Fire Pit Spirits? Because your beverage of choice is meant to be enjoyed with good friends, celebrating life, happiness, or just the end of a hard week of work. And, as always, it's meant to be consumed responsibly. So, whatever you're celebrating, gather round your fire pit, because good times are made with the ones you choose to keep in your circle. Fire Pit Spirits. Best selection, best service, best friends.
The university scientists have long hypothesized, where does the magic man get his magic? The phenomenon that is the magic man is considered one of the great wonders of science. Truth be told, there is no science greater than magic. And that's why the mystery remains.
Hi, I'm Eddie Bruner, and yes, technically I am the magic man, but there's no magic to it. It's honesty, knowledge, and paying the best prices I can pay.
Glasgow Prescription Center is the culmination of my husband's professional career. When he took over GPC, he didn't want to be just good. He'd already done that. He wanted to be great. And I think his patients would agree that he's done just that. Could he get by with a smaller staff? Sure. The gift shop, the flower shop, delivery people, a brand new facility, none of those things are required to have a pharmacy, but that's why it's not just a good pharmacy, it's a great one. I'm really excited to see what Robert is going to do next because I know he's going to put his heart.
No, you can depend on WCLU for local news on the air, online, on demand at WCLUradio.com.
For WCLU Local News, I'm Wes Royce reporting the Glasgow Police Department is asking for your help in locating 50-year-old Jeffrey Dugard. He is 6 foot, 200 pounds, blue eyes, and gray hair. He was last seen wearing a brown Nike tennis shoes, khaki shorts, and a white T-shirt and in the area of Shalimar Drive in Glasgow. The date of the last contact was on September the 3rd. If you have any information, there has been a golden alert released on Jeffrey Dugard. Please contact the Glasgow Police Department at 270-651-6165 or 270-651-5151. Now, we also have another missing person that the Glasgow Police Department is asking for your help in locating, and that is 17-year-old Dustin Root. Dustin Roop is 5 foot 2 inches, 125 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes, and possibly in company with a Taylor Elmore. Dustin has a scar on his left hand and is wearing a gold cross around his neck and was last seen on August the 22nd in the McGraw Avenue area of Glasgow. Again, the number to call if you have any information for the Glasgow Police Department is 270-651-6165 or 270-651-5151. The Glasgow School Board met last night in regular section and kicking off the meeting with several recognitions, the first of which was that of Sarah Shepard for being named the KMEA District 3 Music Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Shepard teaches at Glasgow High School, where Principal Dr. Amy Allen says she has delivered on every facet that she has challenged her with.
I wanted really three things. One was I wanted people to feel good after they had been to the show. I wanted them to leave smiling and being happy. Number two, I wanted her to have a huge cast of lots of students, and so I knew that she would have to go beyond the students that she had in her classroom and have students. And then the third thing was I wanted her to be able to sell out the auditorium for every performance. And she hit all three of those with the first musical that she did last year.
Shepard is the wife of Mr. Matthew Shepard, who is currently the music teacher at Glasgow Middle School. Previously, Mr. Shepard was the music teacher at Highland Elementary School, where his students last year won first place in the group talent competition at the National Beta Convention. Coming in second place in that same competition was the group talent team at South Green Elementary. Students from both schools were recognized for that prestigious accomplishment at that meeting. The students from Highland Elementary include Sam Allen, Alyssa Anderson, Cynthia Austin, Ellie Ball, Harrison Belcher, Stephen Garrett, Kinley Glass, Ivan Harper, Laura Howe, Ava Jackson, Zoe Johns, Gracie Kearney, Reagan Blair, Jesse Logston, also Addison Norris, Ashton Page, Ann Pike, J.P. Pitcock, Dasani Sanford, Trajan Simmons, Lucy Jackson, Logan South, Caleb Taylor, Kevon Wilkerson, Braden Zawinski, Chloe Caldwell, Emma Burton, Allie Bonner, Hudson Woody, Denia Wooten, Brianna Wyatt, Kaylee Friend, and Emma Kate Fields. The South Green Elementary students recognized were Grayson Bartley, Caroline Bishop, Colby Brewster, Audrey Burchett, Audrey Crane, Lauren Gatewood, Emery Gardner, Julie Houchins Granadas, Katie Hans, Bo Hoffman, Timber Hurt, Cora Grace Jones, Sydney Kuykendall, Max Lee, Gracie Lester, Jacqueline Matthias, Dia Nair, Maddie Price, Dunham Stinson, Evan Templin, Walker Thornberry, Nora Underwood, and Audra Alston. Congratulations to both Highland and South Green Elementary Schools for your first and second place finishes in the national competition. After much debate, speculation, restrictions, and research, the Glasgow School Board has determined the outcome of the softball facility situation. Board member Dr. Barrett Lessenberry had contacted the Kentucky Department of Education to determine if leasing the fields at Gorham Park on a long-term basis would be sufficient enough to be able to pay for and build renovations through an interlocal agreement with the city of Glasgow. Board member Mary Burchett Bauer added that there would be much uncertainty with an arrangement such as that. Other board members, Dr. Amelia Kaiser and Dr. Allison Campbell, voiced similar concerns as Bauer. However, board member Lee Lessenberry said that he believed it was still possible to continue a long history of cooperation between city government and the school board. Ultimately, the Lessenberry votes were in the minority as the board voted 3-2 in favor of building the softball facility on the Glasgow High School campus by accepting the bid from Alliance Corporation. Tax rates for several communities and counties in the area were set yesterday. At the Glasgow City Council meeting last night, the first reading of the tax ordinance for 2018 for the City of Glasgow, recommended by the Finance Committee, would stay the same from 2017. Upon this reading, Councilmember Greg Harris motioned to amend the tax rate to the compensating rate due to an increase in property value over the past year. But in a minor discussion, the consensus seemed that expenses and other items needed for the upcoming year justified keeping the rate the same. The motion to amend the rate failed in a 10-2 vote. Then the original motion to approve the tax rate recommended by the Finance Committee, which is 17.4 cents per $100 of assessed value, was approved by a 10-2 vote. And on Monday night, the Barron County Fiscal Court met, and they also selected the tax rates for the year. The library and extension service tax rates were both approved, and the ambulance taxing district rate was set at 2.4 cents per $100 of assessed value of real property, and also 2.4 cents per $100 in assessed value of motor vehicle and watercraft property, with no rate passed on personal property. This resolution was adopted unanimously. To close the special called meeting of the Fiscal Court, the 2018 tax rates for Barron County were open for public hearing, where no one responded, and are to be adopted on second hearing later this week. Also on Monday night, the Cave City Council met to set their tax rates for the upcoming fiscal year. The council took the compensating rate for the next year, which is 15.4 cents per $100 of assessed value on real and personal property and 17.8 cents on motor vehicle and watercraft property. According to Cave City Mayor Dwayne Hatcher, these rates will bring right at $281 more than last year for the city of Cave City. More local news when we continue here on WCLU.
Who will be the future face of Pedigo Lessenberry? Through expert analysis, we've confirmed their potential. With intense training, we've prepared them for any occurrence. We've taken their strengths and made them stronger. Now it's time to see what they're made of. Presenting the future face of ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Hello, I'm Jared Pursley. And I'm Daniel Bird. And we're more than prepared to serve you here at ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance. Growing with a proud community since 1902.
Lessenberry Do-It Center is Glasgow's only locally owned hardware store, and that means a lot to me. Lessenberry's has been in business for over 100 years. I walk in the store, they know who I am, and I get the help that I need. For me, Lessenberry's is the easiest place for me to shop, simply because it's a local, family-owned business, and I feel comfortable when I'm there. And I'm glad there's still a place like that in Glasgow I can go to.
TJ Sampson, providing TLC, Total Local Care, 24/7. My husband and I were both admitted to TJ Sampson. They were so good to us, and we will always go back to TJ, your local health care provider. Total Local Care, 24/7.
Hi.
WCLU local news, and I'm joined with the host of several folks here who are down here in South Central Kentucky committing their time to helping others. And I'm going to go right down the line here. First, I've got Tim Ryan here from the A&E show Dope Man, which was a documentary that aired on there. To his right, we have Randy Grimes, who is a former NFL player, and we also have James McManus. James owns the Family First Adolescent Services business, and Sonia Turner, who is the founder and owner of Project 12 and one of the organizers of the event that's coming up tonight at the Glasgow South Central Bank Operations Center. Tell us about that event, Sonia.
Thanks, Wes. We're having our community town hall meeting tomorrow night at the South Central Bank Operations Room, and it is going to be on the drug epidemic in our small rural communities and the nation as well. We invite everyone to come out. It starts at 5:30. We're going to have a dinner, and then we have these speakers that will be there available to speak at 6:30.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear. And Sonia, you know, I read it every day on the news. Possession of controlled substance, first degree, first offense, second offense, third offense. And it's a problem. It's a problem here. It's a problem everywhere. And you've got people from all over the country here to talk about it. This is not a rural Kentucky problem that we're having. This is an everybody problem. And at some point it's going to hit home with everybody. Now I want to start out with Tim, who is known as the hope dealer, if you will. Not the dope dealer, but the hope dealer. And Tim, talk a little bit about your background and why you're committing your time to doing this.
You know, I struggled with addiction for 35 years of my life, and I was a guy that could never put my hand up and ask for help. I ultimately was sentenced to 7 years in prison for a third DUI. That's where I ended up getting clean and sober, but I lost everything. My wife divorced me, lost our home in foreclosure. When I walked out of prison for the first time in my life, I was 13.5 months clean and sober, set up a nonprofit, started working in the treatment space, started helping families, and on my 21-month sobriety date, my 20-year-old son, Nicholas, died from a heroin overdose. And I went to a 12-step meeting that night, but in Nick's passing has really solidified what I do today. And if I can get sober, Randy, anybody can. It's just a matter of putting your hand up and asking for help.
That's right. It really is. It's about being honest and addressing the problem head on. So, talk about somebody who addressed everything in his life head on except for the problem that he had. We're talking about Randy Grimes. Randy, you spent a lot of time playing professional football in the NFL, but you can be a strong person and you can battle a lot of grown men, but battling opioid addiction is an even tougher battle, is it not?
Yeah, and that's funny because that's part of what I talk about is, you know, I always considered myself a pretty tough person that won a lot of battles in the NFL against some really big, mean, ugly, stinky guys. You know, you don't get to stay in the NFL for 10 years unless you're winning most of those battles. But beating this, you know, my addiction started, had a 10-year career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My addiction started after my second year, and for the next 8 years just raged out of control because I was willing to do whatever it took to stay out on the field. That's how I justified it. Right. So I looked at it as a necessary evil when in fact it was full-blown addiction, and I took that into my retired life, and that's when things really spiraled out of control. When I didn't have those team doctors, team trainers, injuries were just getting worse. My tolerance was just getting worse, and then it was just a disease about more then. And for the next 20 plus years, you know, left a huge wake of destruction in my path. And because of this addiction, and by the grace of God, I survived it, but because of this addiction, I lost a lot of relationships, jobs, you know, cars, houses, money, all that, and all because of addiction. But I'm grateful for the life I have now. Recovery works. Everything that was promised to me early in recovery has come true, and that's why we're here.
And you guys, you realize how difficult this is, and you know what people who are struggling with this are going through. It's a little bit different for everybody, but you guys are actually going to be accessible to the people who need help. You guys aren't here just doing a tour. You guys are committing your life to this, and one of the things that we want to talk about is this book right here that Tim Ryan has authored, and it is called From Dope to Hope. That is From Dope to Hope. And what is this book about, basically?
It's my life story, but it's real and it's raw. And from the perspective of a parent or a husband or wife that has a family member in addiction, now they will understand why the person does what they do. But for the person that's struggling in addiction, it also gives them hope. It covers my entire life cycle of addiction to sobriety to where I'm at today, and it's available on Amazon.
Again, it's available on Amazon, and we'll show this again. It is From Dope to Hope, and that's the author, Tim Ryan, who's sitting next to me. So we're covering this thing from a ton of different angles. You know, you have people from all different walks of life. This event coming up tomorrow evening, and one of the folks who is dealing with this head on is none other than James McManus. And James, you deal with teenagers, with adolescents, and folks may not realize it, but this problem can start very early, and you really want to attack that before these folks are adults.
Absolutely, Wes, and what we're looking to do at Family First Adolescent Services is educate families and adolescents on the substance abuse and dependence issues that are facing their loved ones as well as their loved ones' friends. And it's the undercurrent of mental health concerns with teens is prevalent, and we're trying to accurately diagnose youngsters and just help them get back on the right track. I think a lot of what our teenagers are facing are social media pressures, increased pressures that a lot of us never had to face, and their self-esteem is low, depression or anxiety is high, and it's a real hotbed for a substance dependence problem, because who wouldn't want to just shut all that off? And before they know it, like Randy was talking and Tim was talking, it shanghais you. It just, one day you just can't stop. And so what we're hoping to do is head this off at the pass and hopefully give these guys a bit of a better life than maybe looking at them.
You know, to fix the problem, you must first understand the problem. And I think that is where we are today and what we'll be talking about at the Glasgow's South Central Bank Operations Center. Again, that event starts at 5:30 with a meal, and the program will continue after that. And even further on, folks like this are going to be there, and folks like Sonia with Project 12, this is what she has committed her life to actually understanding and helping you understand this problem. It is a problem, and we cannot deny it. And it takes a team of people to battle it. And so I commend you all for what you do. I commend you all for giving your time, and most of all, thanks for coming down here to South Central Kentucky. It is a much needed thing to hear from you all. Is there anything else you all would like to add about the program coming up tonight?
I just want people to know, don't sit here and say, not my family. Everybody knows someone that's been affected by the disease of addiction, even if it's alcoholism, it's meth, it's opiates. Please come out. This is your community. It takes a village here, and we need everyone to come out here. We're all accessible. We give out all the resources. We're just a phone call away, and the hardest thing to do is put your hand up and ask for help. Please come out and share the message.
I think that's a really great point that Tim just made, and I think that just asking questions, it's okay to call any one of us up here and just ask a question. If this is normal, does this sound right? And we can be a resource for the community and for parents and for loved ones.
And can I have a second to brag on Sonia?
Absolutely.
And the job that she's done at
Sure.
Project 12?
Yeah.
I mean, over the years, I've known Sonia for the last 7 years, and the impact she's made on this community for being a resource. You know, sometimes families don't know who to call, what to say, and she's been that first line of defense. So I commend her for the work that she's done up here in this community, and I know that we have helped hundreds of people from this community down at Transformations in South Florida, and what a great opportunity to come up here and continue to educate the people, because we know that when families get well, addicts get well.
Amen.
There is not one person going to be there tonight that's going to look down on you for attending. So do not hesitate to come to this event. This is a problem that pretty much everybody has seen firsthand, and we want to address it. So thank you all for being here, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For WCLU Local News, I'm Wes Royce.
WCLU. Our first sports story for today, the 15th District Golf Tournament was played yesterday afternoon in Monroe County. The Glasgow Lady Scotties won the event with a team total of 172. Abby Lees led the Lady Scotties by firing a 38, and that score put her in a playoff for the championship. But she then lost to Monroe County's Connor Geralds in a sudden death score. Other Scotty scores include Nina McMurtry, 44, Allie McCoy, 41, Bailey Birdsell, 49, and Lena Harlow at 55. We also see that the Barron County girls team came in second, with placing 8 strokes behind Glasgow with a team total of 180, led by Marley Shirley's 42, Carly Delk's 9-hole of 44. The medalist was Connor Geralds, who fired a 38, and tying Glasgow's Abby Lee, who then lost in that sudden death playoff. Allen County Scottsvilles are our boys district champions, led by Owen Stamper with a total of 38, who was second overall. Monroe County finished second, lead by Trevor Eisenberg's 9-hole total of 37, and Glasgow finished third with a team total of 183. Barron County's team total was 217. In soccer, Glasgow boys team defeated Monroe County by a score of 8-0, and the Lady Scotties beat Warren East 1-0. And Glasgow Scotty football currently ranked 4th in the latest AP poll in Class 2A. Mayfield and DeSales are ranked 1 and 2, and Christian Academy of Louisville, it comes in at number 3, and to round out the top 5 is Walton Verona. That is local check-in on sports here on WCLU.
Celebrate your memories. No two funerals are exactly alike. Personalization is a valuable consideration, whether the ceremony is elaborate or simple. Funerals are often individualized to reflect the life and values of the deceased.
This is Follis Crow. It may reflect one's occupation, hobbies, or a lifetime of photo memories. A.F. Crow & Son Funeral Home in Glasgow. We're here for you.
The following weather forecast is brought to you by Peggy Tuck Edwards and Private Caregiver and Referral Services. When roles reverse in your later years, when child becomes caretaker and the needs of the parent become most important, it's comforting to know that there's help along the way. Peggy Tuck Edwards would like for you to be informed about Private Caregiver and Referral Services, because sometimes our elders just need a little company and companionship. It's our duty to see that those needs are met, whether in the home or in an assisted living or nursing home facility. Peggy and her network of compassionate caregivers are ready to meet you and your loved one's needs. Call 270-670-7062.
We have got ourselves in a pretty quiet weather pattern over the next few days. I think in the weather world that's welcomed. It'll stay cloudy today, 76. Clouds early tonight, then becoming partly cloudy, 59. Partial clouds with sunshine Wednesday, 81. Thursday, mostly sunny and warmer in the middle 80s. Then Friday, mostly sunny with highs into the warm upper 80s. And the weekend looks dry and mild with highs in the middle 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on WCLU, your home for local.
Thank you there, Ray. Also going on, we have our current conditions, currently at 100% humidity, and you can definitely feel it out there. Calm winds, barometer is at 30.10, and no precip in the past 24 hours, but that might change. We're currently at, let's see here, 57 degrees here at WCLU, a little chilly, but we'll definitely get warmer throughout the day. And a high of 76 here on your Tuesday. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be the birthday list coming right at you here on WCLU.
Do you use a debit card? Do you get paid by direct deposit or have a monthly bill set up for auto payment? Do you like the convenience of online banking and the efficiency of e-statements? If so, Citizens First Platinum Plus checking account is for you. Stop by Citizens First today to open your Platinum Plus account and start earning real interest on your money.
Qualifications must be met each statement cycle to earn premium interest rates. Required minimum opening deposit of $100. Interest earned, compounded, and paid monthly. Interest rate is subject to change. Must be a Kentucky or Tennessee resident. One account per Social Security number. Member FDIC.
When was the last time you got your Ralphie on? What's getting your Ralphie on, you ask? When you're winning prizes and lighting up the score in the arcade, you're getting your Ralphie on. When you're dancing under the lights on roller, you've turned on your inner Ralphies. When you bring your coworkers to bowl in the business league, your office staff has clocked in on Ralphie's time. If you suffer from symptoms such as lack of fun, feeling bored, if you get frequent urges to act like it's your birthday, or if you're just not smiling enough, you need to go to Ralphie's. That's Ralphie's Fun Center in Glasgow. A great place for any party, event, field trip, or church group. Get your Ralphie on.
That's right, get your Ralphie on, and let's check up on the birthday list here on WCLU. All right, there we go. Probably should put on some headphones, by the way. For our Tuesday birthdays here on this September the 11th, we have Cecily Carson Wood, Linda Lessenberry celebrating a birthday today. Danny Gibson is up on the birthday list. Marlon Witcher as well. Easton DeVasier is 5 today. Julie Ann Williams is celebrating, so is Miss Sheila Eaton. We have Johnny Dale Wood turning 12 today. Sheila Hatcher Lindsay is double fives today. She's 55 on the birthday list. Ava Grace Toe is 15. We have Paige Hargett is 31 today. Trace Childers is 7. Cody Jackson is the big 20 today. Eaton Bose is celebrating his first birthday. Abe Cross is up on the birthday list, and so is Alex Hawkins, turning 24 today. And last but certainly not least on the birthday list is Veronica Jackson. Congratulations to all those celebrating birthdays today. Over on the anniversaries, we have Joe and Jane Burke. Congratulations to them. And we'd also like to remind everyone of our Good as Gold person of the day, and that is Miss Clara Stout. Happy Good as Gold Day, I guess. It is her day on the radio. Let's see if I can get this little graphic up here. She has a very neat reason that she is being honored today, and she is battling cancer and is a very loving person. Sent in by a good friend, it looks like, and so we are very glad to put Miss Clara Stout up on her day for the radio here on this Tuesday and put her name in the hat to be possibly chosen for a little taste dinner at the end of the week, and she is as good as gold. So if you see Clara Stout out in town today, pat her on the back and tell her that she is as good as gold from her friends here at WCLU, as well as a little taste of Texas, and tell her to be strong, and she is fighting cancer, but is a very caring person and is a very loving person, says this person that nominated Miss Clara Stout for the Good as Gold honoree. That is a checkup on the birthday list as well as our Good as Gold honoree today. We'll be right back here on WCLU.
Why do you choose the pharmacy you use? Is it because of someone you know, or is it short wait times? Highland Pharmacy has considered all of these things that make your experience at the pharmacy pleasant. With a top-notch staff of pharmacists and techs you know and trust, 2 drive-through windows, and a commitment to not making you sit and wait any longer than necessary, you can see why so many choose Highland Pharmacy, and we invite you to come see us for your next prescription. Highland Pharmacy, just over from the TJ Health Pavilion, 301 Rogers Road. Call 270-629-4300.
What time is it? It's burger o'clock. Head to Colton's Steakhouse and Grill for lunch. Get a hamburger, cheeseburger, or Montana burger and fries for only $6.99. These fresh ground half-pound burgers are handcrafted, grilled over open flames, and made to order. All meals include peanuts and hot, delicious rolls and honey. Colton's Steakhouse and Grill in Glasgow, Bardstown, Campbellsville, and Radcliffe. We know what's at stake, and burgers too.
Hello everyone, welcome back here on WCLU, and we are currently at 7:35 this morning, 57 degrees, and joined with us in the studio we have, of course, Ern Dog, Mr. Ernie Wagner, as well as a sergeant from the Glasgow Fire Department, Chris Blythe, and they are here to talk today for just a few minutes about some of the things going on and talk about what today really means, and that is September 11th, and so let's take it away with Ernie Wagner. Ernie?
All right. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I have my good friend in here with me this morning, Chris Blythe from the Glasgow Police Department, or Sheriff. I'll get it right in a minute, Fire Department. He's sergeant over there. But Chris wanted to have you in this morning, and we'll just kind of talk a little bit about today. I know we're kind of close to the same age. I think I might have a few years on you, but you know, we remember 17 years ago this morning and what happened, and I wanted to get you in here this morning, and you know, as a firefighter and just first responder, and just kind of give us your take on that day and what it's done to you as a firefighter.
Well, it's good to be here, Ernie. I appreciate the opportunity to sit and talk with you. And on this day, a lot of people remember the tragedy that happened, 17 years ago. As we was just talking a few minutes ago, me and the guys, I worked last night, working overtime today, and we were watching on the History Channel. and watching and seeing some stuff I hadn't seen before that they had released, and it was it's pretty horrific, the stuff you see on the TV. And that day, I wasn't actually a firefighter that day. I was actually an office manager at a different job, and a couple of the ladies that I worked with came and got me and said there's a plane crash, and I didn't think nothing about it. I wasn't even dreaming something like that would happen.
Right.
And so I'll be honest with you, I didn't really think much about it. It was busy at work and everything. And then all of a sudden I seen people going down the hallway and going back to the back where the TV was. And they came and got me, and I went in there and watched it. And at first we thought it was like something like a Cessna or a small plane that didn't really mount to nothing, so we didn't think it was a huge deal.
Right.
Then I got a phone call from my wife, and she was tore up, and she said another plane crashed. So then we started really paying attention to it, and it really didn't hit me until later that evening when I got home and started really getting all the information in. Of course, the news media was trying to keep it quiet. So I wasn't at the fire department then, but then in September 2003 is when I joined the Glasgow Fire Department. And then talking to the guys that were on the fire department at the time it took place, and listening to the stories and how it affected them, and then becoming a part of, it's always called a brotherhood at the fire department.
Absolutely.
And listening to the things and getting involved with the training, going to different places for fire training, and actually responding to emergency scenes as a first responder, and going to car wrecks, house fires. It starts to really hit you what those guys, and it's nowhere near what they went through that day, but you kind of have a greater appreciation for the job and what they were willing to do on that day. So
I've always said, our first responders, are taken for granted until they're needed. And we this evening, we got a beautiful memorial over at Firehouse Number 1, I guess it's called, on Broadway. At 7 o'clock, we'll be doing candlelight vigil over there.
Yes, sir.
But I'm surprised at a lot of different people that I've talked to about the memorial over there that didn't even realize that we had a memorial.
Yes, sir.
Because we do a ride every year. the 9/11 ride. Well, where are you going to start at? Well, we start in the same place we start every year, at the 9/11 memorial at Firehouse on Broadway. Well, I didn't even know they had a memorial.
Yeah.
I said, well, you're not looking very hard.
Yeah, our previous chief, I think he spearheaded that along with some other people, and they've got just a mock statue there with the two towers, and then actually a piece that joins those two towers is actually a piece from one of the towers in New York.
Yeah.
And so it's and then there's a little plaque down there on the bottom with a little statue and a fountain. So it's a great memorial for that day, for the 343 firefighters that lost their lives. And
I remember talking about the piece of steel beam. That's from Tower 2.
Yes.
And we, a lot of people know, I'm commander of Veterans Organization, Freedom Warriors, but we, on 9/11 ride that year, we hauled that piece of steel from town to town to town to town, and people would come up and they would just touch that piece of steel and start crying. So today is declared Patriots Day, and because of all the patriots that like you guys here at the fire department here in Glasgow, our police department, our sheriff's department, our ambulance service, on and on and on. It's about you guys. It's about our 623rd. So I just suggest anybody try to go out and do something patriotic today.
Yes, sir.
And do it in the memory of those in New York and Washington and Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
That went down. Chris, pleasure to have you in here with us this morning.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate you coming in and taking time to reflect a little bit back.
I appreciate that as well, Ernie. Just if you don't mind, just remember, all the lives have been lost since then as well. I know this is a day of memorial, but there's many military, there's some great men and women that have lost their lives in the fight against terror, as well as I think this year, as far as firefighters, it's almost reaching 100 of line of duty deaths that are still lost in the line of duty fighting and doing that. And once you said something about the tragedy of firefighters, I had a guy say one time, said there's not much recognition until one of them dies. And if you've ever seen a firefighter funeral, I mean, it is pomp, circumstance, it is everything. And like you said, it's sad to wait until that time to show that appreciation. But those guys that did that, not just the fire department, but the Port Authority, the police department, the EMTs. I think the fire department in New York City lost their chief that day. They lost a chaplain as well. So today is it's a notable day to remember.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And also one other thing, kind of want to mention with what you're saying here, is I think we've had like a little over 10,000 people that were first responders and people that were actually in the Twin Towers that have been diagnosed with cancer and other lung diseases.
Yes,
so,
sir. Just people that are not firefighters that showed up to help. I know we talk about him all the time, Steve Buscemi. He's a Hollywood actor, and he was on the New York Fire Department for 4 years, I believe, and he turned to Hollywood, became a good actor, and he went back after that. Nobody really knows this, but he went back after that and dug in all that rubble looking for survivors as well.
Yeah.
And didn't want it and didn't get a bunch of notoriety for it, and did it secretly because he didn't want the attention. But yeah, he's a firefighter at heart. But yeah, a lot of people have been diagnosed with cancer that's been linked back to the smoke and everything that took place that day.
Still taking effect on people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chris, thank you so much for coming in with us.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you at 12.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to get back with my good buddy Aaron. What you got going on, brother?
Oh, not much, Ernie. Thank you there for Ernie Wagner, as well as Sergeant Chris Blythe with the Glasgow Fire Department for that nice discussion there the past few minutes. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gents, and when we come back, it'll be, I think, time for music here on WCLU as we wrap up the rest of your morning here on this Tuesday, September the 11th.
Good morning, friends. Recently, I found a writing which illustrated our responsibility as Christians to the people around us. We have both an opportunity and an obligation to show Christ to the world by the way we act and by the words we say. When we fail to do that, we may lose an opportunity for Jesus that can never be regained. People about us may be illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you are doing good, people will accuse you of selfish motives. Do good anyway. To all the people you can, every time you can. When you are successful, you may win false friends and true enemies who jealously despise your success. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. A lot of people favor the underdog but will only follow the top dog. Fight for some underdogs anyway. What you spend hours building may be destroyed by cruel and thoughtless people overnight. Build anyway. Oftentimes the people who need help may attack you if you help them. Help them anyway. When you give the world the best you have and stand for the right, you may very well get kicked in the teeth for your efforts. Give the world the best you have and stand firm for the right anyway. It all probably boils down to this. Be right, be nice, and be courageous. Anyway, this is Danny White for the Refuge Church.
I'm Fred Parrish here at Parrish Carpet in Glasgow, Kentucky. My parents started this business over 50 years ago, so we know flooring here at Parrish Carpet. We have a large showroom and a big selection in stock. We do custom binding and we do free estimates. We've served a lot of people in the 50-plus years, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you. So if you have a flooring need, come see us at Parrish Carpet.
Growth begins with an idea. At the People's Bank, that idea is to give you the banking service you deserve. We carry out that idea in everything we do. In fact, it's become our motto, working for you. As that idea continues to grow, let us work for you at our new location, 1300 West Main Street, opening this summer. Let us be the place where your ideas begin, where you get the banking you deserve. Come grow with us. The People's Bank, working for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Check out the deals at Gilliard Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Save big on summer adventure during our Jeep Celebration event. How about saving up to $5,800 off the factory MSRP on a new 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee? Or choose up to $4,000 off the new 2018 Jeep Renegade. Now you can save up to $3,750 off on the newly redesigned 2019 Jeep Cherokee.
If car shopping makes you nervous, come to the home of legendary service.
Geo. That's right, 3.27 APY. Don't miss out on the celebration going on now at the People's Bank. 3.27 annual percentage yield, limited time only. Penalty for early withdrawal, not valid with any other offers. Rate subject to change, new deposits only. People's Bank, working for you. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We've got ourselves in a pretty quiet weather pattern over the next few days. I think in the weather world, it's welcomed. And you get a little chance here to concentrate more on impacts for the coastal Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic from powerful Hurricane Florence. Thursday strike to the Carolinas could be a significant one. Our influence from that storm, little if anything at all. Certainly may see some subsidence or sinking air around that center of low pressure on the west side. However, that's a little more complicated, and for another day, a discussion that we may want to get into some other time. But the bottom line is no rain in the forecast over the next few days. A little morning fog around this morning. And for the most part, it'll stay cloudy today, 76. Clouds early tonight, then becoming partly cloudy, 59. Partial clouds with sunshine Wednesday, 81. Thursday, mostly sunny and warmer in the middle 80s. Then Friday, mostly sunny with highs into the warm upper 80s. And the weekend looks dry and mild with highs in the middle 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on WCLU, your home for local.
All right, taking a look at the constant coverage in-studio radar screen here. We have a few things to look at, not exactly here in our area, but we want to zoom in a little further south if I get my mouse back. It does not want to come back. But I want y'all to be aware of how bad it could be. Take out there in the southwest there. A lot of rain coming from there, up from the tropical storm and the hurricane. So just be mindful and say a prayer for those people down there as well. Right now we're looking at 57 degrees. It's cold this morning. I thought about putting a jacket on, but I didn't. So anyway, that's what we got in the way of weather. The weather brought to you by the People's Bank. And coming up in just a moment, we'll have some tidbit news for you. Stay tuned.
When the skies are gray and the weather won't cooperate, think of all the great days that lie ahead. And one company can make every day better. Time Savers. Whether you need a little help or a lot, a ride to the grocery store or to the airport, a load of laundry washed or meals prepared, a week of round-the-clock care, or months of a few hours a day, Time Savers is the only service that does it all. I'm Elizabeth Downing, and we have built Time Savers to reflect everything we want for our own families. So chase away the clouds and let Time Savers brighten your days. Call us at 270-792-5703 or go to mytimesaversky.com. That's 270-792-5703 or mytimesaversky.com.
Shut that window! We can't afford to heat the whole neighborhood. You ever said that to someone in your house? Smith Siding in Glasgow would love to show you how much heat the neighborhood gets even with your old leaky, inefficient windows shut. And how much better their vinyl replacement windows insulate against outside cold air. Plus, they're easy to clean and bring new life to the appearance of your home. Randall and Shane Smith would love to talk to you about windows. In business for 44 years, we get it right. 651-1009. Nothing can take down a home like a debilitated, leaky roof. How can you find a roofing contractor who can analyze the problems and then come up with a quote that may be less expensive than you think? Smith Siding has a great reputation in Southern Kentucky. In fact, insurance companies depend on Smith Siding as a reliable contractor. You can too. Have Shane and Randall Smith look at your situation and start the process. In business for 44 years, we get it right. Smith Siding. 109 Ensminger Drive, behind Dairy Queen.
From the north, south, east, west, NEWS, here's the latest news.
From around the globe and up the street at Hurt Auto Sales, it's time for Tidbit News here on WCLU. Join with Hurt. Let me see if I can't get him back here.
Hello?
Hey, Bobby?
Hello?
Hey, there you are. You were ready to answer. You didn't even ring. It just came right up. We lost you there for a minute. Take a break.
This is Tori Kelly, compounding pharmacist at Medical Arts Pharmacy. Did you know a compounding pharmacist can customize your medication if you need a particular strength of medicine, if you need a particular dosage form, such as liquid, creams, or capsules, or if you need to treat a specific family member, such as a child or your family pet? Are you interested in natural or bioidentical hormone replacement therapy? I can work with you and your provider to address the signs and symptoms of perimenopause, menopause, and even menopause through natural hormones and supplements. So stop by Medical Arts Pharmacy at 1220 North Ray Street across from TJ Sampson and let me provide your compounding needs.
Hey, Bobby Lee. Can you hear me now? Bobby. Bobby. Can't hear